my calculations are correct, when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
They're here.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
It's showtime.
Right, welcome everybody to another episode of the VHS Strikes Back. I am one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to the VHS Strikes Back, the show where we dust off the old video player and go on a nostalgic journey to look at the good and the bad movies of yesteryear. Now, Chris, what we're going to review this week?
Well, Dave, it was a Patreon pick from our good friend Tim, and he's picked, Dave, from 1990, starring Andrew Dice Clay, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, Rock and Roll Detective. So, Dave, have you anything on this movie?
Absolutely. Square root of fuck all. So I had never heard of this at all. I think this probably just came a little bit too soon for me. I mean, we did have American comedians that were quite famous over here, weren't they? But, you know, the likes of Robin Williams, you know, Richard Pryor, we were talking about the other week, Eddie Murphy. But, yeah, Andrew Dice Clay, I just don't remember him at all. And I was researching back, and he was a big thing, you know, not with this movie, but just before this, he was pretty huge. And so, yeah, I'm a bit surprised that he was so big, and I just had no idea. So I'm just not sure if that's just me or just he never quite made it to the UK.
With me, I've heard the name because when I listen to a lot of the American podcasts, and I've said before, a lot of the podcast formats are like The Fighter and the Kid is one that is a UFC fighter, and I've said this here loads of times, so apologies. And then he's got Brian Callen, Brendan Schaub's the ex-fighter, and then you've got Brian Callen, who's the comedian, and he's a stand-up comedian. Brendan Schaub's a comedian now, very acquired taste because everyone says he's pretty shit, but I've watched him live at the Lowry, and he was actually okay. He's been cutting his chops there, but they've mentioned loads of times Andrew Dice Clay as like an unsung hero of stand-up comedy, and like obviously, like you say, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Robin Williams, all these people, even like Jay Leno, people like that, they were all comedians in that originally. So there's all these people, and like Seinfeld was around this time and all that stuff. So he's someone who they say is like a very like unsung hero. But again, I've never seen him in stuff where I go, that's Andrew Dice. I said, what he looked like. But now that I've seen him, and I know he's been in some stuff like in the last couple of years, but obviously he's got no hair now, and obviously he's about mid-60s or something. So, but completely off on this one, and I didn't have a clue about this. There's no way I would have watched. I mean, he's got a great cover because he just looks like Elvis. You know, I absolutely love Elvis. So I just want to pick this up.
Love Elvis, dear. You love Elvis. Because I went on an interesting rabbit hole, Chris, because
I know.
Priscilla Presley was in this movie, and you know, especially when she was in the Naked Gun movies, I was like, even as a kid, I was like, oh, she's a bit, yeah, very nice. And I saw her again, and I was scratching my head, and I was thinking, how is she so young here when she was married to Elvis? Well, Chris, I had no idea about this. But 24-year-old Elvis was grooming 14-year-old Priscilla.
Yeah, that's terrible.
How do I not fucking know this? How is that not a bigger scandal than it is?
Well, Jerry Lee Lewis did that as well, Dave. Great Balls of Fire, same scenario. And his wife, interesting choice of words, Chris. Now, the Elvis thing, this doesn't excuse it at all because a fucking nonce is a nonce, Dave. That's it. But I think with Elvis, this sounds like I'm making an excuse if I'm not. Did he not get with her when she was 16? She's a cousin, isn't she? She's like a second cousin of Elvis or something. And I think he sort of took her under his wing for 2 years. And then when she got to 16, he thought, there you go, ding, ding, let's go. Now, I could be wrong there, Dave. Depends on what you research.
Isn't that grooming?
It is grooming. No, I completely agree. I can't justify it, but as a kid, I did love Elvis and stuff, Dave. Thank God I didn't like Gary Glitter, but there you go. Then we would be so much.
See, I must admit, I did enjoy some of Gary Glitter's songs, but I appreciated Elvis, but to me, it was the Beatles. You know, that was like the next incarnation of rock and roll, wasn't it? You know, they carried on what he'd kind of started and what he'd stolen from black culture and stuff. But, you know, so I'd never really embraced Elvis, but I was just a bit shocked. I had no idea. And I thought, well, you know, with this movie coming out as well, the Elvis movie, I was like, yeah, I don't think I can watch that.
No, and you know what, Dave? It's interesting because I will watch it with Tom Hanks and that. And I think from what I've seen on the reviews, he's supposed to be brilliant. The guy who plays Elvis, he's supposed to be excellent. But it's actually Tom Hanks who takes people away. Because Colonel Tom Parker was not American at all. And he couldn't travel around the world because of some gambling debts. So that's why Elvis never left America, why he was so big in America. He wanted to travel the world, but he wouldn't let him, Tom Parker. He was quite sort of ruled by him. So I don't know if he was German or Dutch or something. He was definitely not American, even though he was called Tom Parker. But yeah, so
some may say none of them were.
Well, none of them were, yeah, exactly.
Originally.
Yeah, that's very true. Because I'm interested, you're right though, Dave. I'm interested in how they tackle that with Priscilla. And do they Hollywood it or not? I don't know. So we'll see. I've not seen that movie yet, so I can't tell you. But I know the reviews have been excellent. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I am intrigued by it, but like I say, I was just a bit surprised by that, and not to take it down a seedy path. But Chris, the reason for picking this one, like you say, is Tim, and it does have a little bit of a touching backstory, doesn't it?
It does actually. It's lovely. This. I want to read this out, guys. It's the message Tim sent us about why he picked this movie. So just take a seat and have a listen to this because it's a great and touching story. So, but now then, Dave and Chris. I've been thinking about what my next pick would be for a while. I've been toying up whether to go with a classic that I love and that you'll likely both also enjoy, or go with something that's fucking awful. So I've decided to not go with a classic, a true listener, Dave, that I love and you'll likely both also enjoy. My pick is the cringe-inducing shit show that is the action comedy, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, Rock and Roll Detective, starring American stand-up superstar Andrew Dice Clay. The reason I'm picking this is my best friend, Paul, who sadly passed away 2 years ago, used to love this as a so shit it's mint movie, where I was firmly in the camp of it's so shit I'm getting embarrassed watching it. Brilliant. That's true friends. The conversation you guys have about movies and taking the piss reminds me very much of me and Paul, which got me remembering this one. We hired this out in the early 90s, so we'd have been about 12 or 13 at the time, from the local cost cutter expecting that next Lethal Weapon or Beverly Hills Cop. How naive we were. It was atrocious, but then Paul developed a love for it. And
Naive even. Yeah, naive. Naive, that as well, Dave. Naive even. It was atrocious, but then Paul developed a love for it and used to get me to watch it over the subsequent years, trying to convince me that it's some sort of hidden gem and that I need to give it another go. Then I'd have to beast him for wasting my time and having such a shit taste in films. I love that. True. There are some similarities here, aren't there?
There is actually. One of the surprising things about this is it's directed by Rennie Harlin in the same year he did Die Hard 2. Bizarre, and was clearly meant to be a box office vehicle for the Dice Man, Andrew Dice Clay, who at the time was a massive US stand-up superstar performing to sold-out stadiums. I don't know if you're familiar with this brand of comedy from the 80s and 90s, but I struggle to find the words to describe its cringe-inducing levels of shitness. It comprises of rude nursery rhymes, loads of homophobia, and smoking a cigarette in different stances that we are to believe are cool, plus other similarly embarrassing activities. Like I said, my words can't do this, in quotes, comedy justice. Check it out on YouTube. Fuck me, it's terrible, but great for taking the piss out of. I'm very keen to hear what you guys think of this. And if you're with Paul in this hidden gem, it's so shit, it's mint camp, or with me in that I'm getting embarrassed watching what is on the screen, it's fucking awful. I'm in the fucking awful camp. In the words of Mr. Phelps, this choice is a total stitch up. P.S. Love the show. Always funny to listen to, and I agree. Top Gun Maverick is mint. Pure cheese, but an instant classic. Long live the VHS Strikes Back. So that is a lovely message, Dave. And I think the right thing that me and you need to do today, this whole episode is dedicated to the memory of Paul. So that we've got to do this for him. And we're not holding back, though. We're not holding back, but this is for Paul, Tim. So thank you, mate. That's a lovely choice of movie.
Yeah, I must admit, I was reading that and it did give me a lump in the throat. And I thought, we have to do this one justice, but I'm afraid, like you say, we have to be true to it as well. But yeah, absolutely brilliant message. So, Chris, should we get into our trailer?
Let's go.
Hello, LA!
A rock rock star is dead. A groupie has disappeared, and millions are missing.
I think that somebody's trying to rip my company off.
Those were his kind of odds. His name? Ford Fairlane.
Hey, it's Ford Fairlane! Money! Hey, what are your names? Neil and Bob? Is that like what you do, huh?
A detective who's so smooth.
What is it they call you?
Precocious. Combustionable.
He's aerodynamic.
Fame.
Everyone knows him.
Hey, you're that guy, the private eye.
You're a poet and didn't know it.
Everyone owes him.
Take this, Ford.
No, money's fine, really.
I need cash, moolah, wampum, dead presidents, Michael Jackson, Gerald Ford.
See, that's the difference between a great investigator like me and a piece of spam like you.
Spam.
And nothing they say
You're a piece of spam. That's what I think of you.
can throw him.
Mr. Fairlane, when I was 11, I walked in on my father and the Shetland pony he gave me for my 10th birthday. Does that excite you?
I don't know. I never met your father.
But this case can put him back
I don't need money.
in the black.
I need questions answered. Question number 1. Can I have some money?
But when your beat is the music business,
Let me see this chick around.
Is this a trick question?
you keep notes on everyone.
Got you.
Priscilla Presley,
Who?
I wouldn't trust that babe as far as I could bowl her.
Ed O'Neill,
Booty time. Booty time.
Robert Englund, Tone Loc, Gilbert Gottfried, Sheila E., and Wayne Newton.
What?
Yes, Wayne Newton.
And I gotta defeat a baby.
Oh, he seems nice.
Andrew Dice Clay is Ford Fairlane
LA drivers, man.
in a movie so hot
Got something cooking in the microwave?
Get out!
you'd better bring protection.
Maybe it was just a pot pie.
Ford Fairlane,
Are you mad?
I'm ecstatic!
coming in July to theaters everywhere.
Ain't got you.
We open up a live concert with heavy metal band, The Black Plague. Shortly into one of the band's songs, lead singer Bobby Black, played by former Motley Crue frontman Vince Neil, collapses on stage and dies. Now, Chris, what do you reckon to the opening of this movie?
Look, Dave, this is fucking atrocious. This movie is awful. Andrew Dice Clay, and he's the lead, is the worst actor in the whole movie. He just keeps doing a Fonzarelli, hey, every time. He thinks, that's it. Oh, it's like fucking Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Oh, USA. But
Oh, yeah.
he cops off with every girl going. It, like, everyone loves him. His secretary, who obviously is pretending to sort of be like an ugly duckling, he's obviously stunning. She loves him. It's fucking rubbish. I mean, Robert Englund is the sort of bad guy, and he's like Freddy Krueger. And Wayne Newton's still in Las Vegas to this day doing bits, Dave. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's never changed. He's just an absolute figure in Las Vegas. He still does the Wayne Newton show and everything. But yeah, I don't even know what to say. It is fucking atrocious. And it's not, I mean, this is made around my sweet spot. How I didn't see it, I don't know. I think the way it's shot is very similar to that dusty, hazy effect that we saw in The Last Boy Scout, which is from 1991. So probably around about the same time as this. And that's the only thing I can give it credit on, because it's truly fucking rubbish. It is absolutely shit on toast, this movie, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, I think partially why we probably hadn't heard of it. Like I say, I don't think Andrew Dice Clay was very big over here.
Yeah.
But then he got into some trouble, didn't he? You know, and I think you see this often where people are not separating a character from the actual comedian. Because, you know, he essentially was, I mean, I don't know why they called him Ford Fairlane, to be honest. Well, apart from it was based on something else, wasn't it? It wasn't a comic strip or something like that. But just call him. He's just playing Andrew Dice Clay, playing Ford Fairlane. So It's a weird one for me, and I just think just a lot of the jokes, they just don't land. Now, there is one thing I think that made me that Andrew Dice Clay did that made me sort of raise a little bit of a smile, and that was when we heard it in the trailer then, which was Colleen's character saying, when I was 11, I walked in on my dad with a Shetland pony that he bought for me when I was 12. Does that excite you? And he goes, I don't know. I never met your father. Well, apparently, I saw an interview with Priscilla Presley, and she was saying that was just an ad-libbed line. That wasn't a scripted line or anything. And I thought, well, fair enough. But yeah, I just don't. I don't really think this lands at all. However, Chris, I'm going to come at this in a slightly more positive way. That how much of this went into the creation of Ace Ventura, Pet Detective?
Yes.
Because you've got this idea, he's solving crimes. He's there on a prime bit of real estate, Chris, by the beach, and getting paid with these ridiculous things. You've got this wacky koala sort of thing going on as well. And it's just weird. He doesn't get paid with actual money, yet he can afford to have a secretary, Jazz, played by the lovely Lauren Holly. Saw her in Dumb and Dumber, Chris. And, that idea that people are paying, but not with money. And you've got this detective, but it's some weird, quirky thing that it doesn't belong anywhere near being a detective. And I just felt there was actually a lot of inspiration here for that Jim Carrey character.
You know what, Dave? That's an interesting take, because you're right. That stupid one-liners and the quirks and everything, there's inspiration there, isn't there? I mean, I know in the trailer, obviously, we've got the Gary Glitter song, obviously, which was in the Joker as well. But in America, it's used for sports. That's what the song's used for. And obviously, now he would have the Glitter Band. Thank God, Wanker won't get any credit. But it's an interesting choice, and I think you're right. The context of this detective, who everyone loves, all the girls swoon on, like the twins come up to him, don't they? And he's like, yeah, legend. And he takes a number, and I'm just like, you look about 50. These girls are like mid-20s. He was about 32 when this was made, but he's got an old face there, definitely a long paper round. And I think you're right. I think that's a great point, to be honest. It does inspire other movies, but I will say, watching it, the movie's atrocious. It's absolutely atrocious, but I can't take my eyes off it, because I'm thinking, how has this been made? And how was this premiered? And I agree with you. I've never seen this, and the VHS cover I've never seen in the UK. So obviously, like you say, his popularity, it probably never got a UK release. I don't ever believe I've ever seen. It's never been on UK terrestrial TV ever. So that's probably why we've never heard of it. But obviously, it's just something that somewhere someone has released that on VHS. But when we watch these atrocious movies, like we did the Lauren Avedon one, the one that I picked, the week, the Manhattan Chase, absolutely fucking god awful. But it's a B movie straight to VHS at the time. This would have had a big build up, a premiere, everything. And now if people were into Andrew Dice Clay's comedy, as Tim said, like, it's fucking atrocious. I've watched some comedy recently, and I can't watch a lot of stand-up comedians. I know Ricky Gervais is one that I can sit there and watch, but the ones I used to love, I cannot watch them, Dave. I'm like, oh, this is terrible. It's just dead cringy. So I think it's a movie of its time that would have been a vehicle for the Andrew Dice Clay diehards, and have absolutely lapped this up, because it just does not hit 30-odd years later. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah, and you say about how did it get made? Not only did it get made, Chris, it cost $20 million. There was some serious money shoved at this, and they had the explosions and stuff as well, didn't they? But I'm struggling a little bit to see where all of that money went. And like I say, I guess it was just the controversy around him as a person. I think it hit a couple of weeks before the movie released, but then I think he was almost implying like cancel culture before cancel culture became a phrase that people used to try and excuse themselves of saying stupid shit. But I think, to be honest, Chris, people just probably went to see this and were like, yeah, this is fucking shit. Don't go and see it. It made 21 million. So we say that, you know, they pay for the marketing on top of the budget, so it wouldn't have made its money back. But there were plenty of bums on seats there to make 20 million.
Yeah, and you're right, Dave. And the soundtrack's not bad. I mean, the soundtrack's not bad at all in spots. There's some good suit, you know, Motley Crue, Rock and Roll Junk. There's a few ones that I can relate to. Definitely that I know the songs. So I don't dislike that sort of thing. But I think, like, when you look at the reviews, I mean, that Roger Ebert, he's the worst of the worst. He's so harsh on any movie. Give it 1 out of 4. Loud, Ugly, Mean Spirited. It's got 27% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's got 4.4 on Metacritic. So it's not, you know, one of the worst things, but he's just an awful romp in it. It's like he is pretty much impenetrable to everything in Fairlane. Like Ford Fairlane's a car. That's what's confusing. When you put a Ford Fairlane is a car. I absolutely live off watching. Obviously, I watch a lot of Las Vegas stuff, but I watch a lot of American Barn Hunter, he's called, a guy, and then another guy's channel. And they're going around collecting old cars, Mustangs, all American muscle stuff that I love. But the Ford Fairlane comes in it a lot from like the mid-50s. So it's a really interesting choice. Even he said like it's a comic book strip or it's based on something like that. That name is just synonymous with a car. That was a very popular car in America. So
yeah, it was created by a guy called Rex Weiner. And it was basically a bunch of serials published in the New York Rocker and LA Weekly around 79 and 80. So again, it was this character, and they've just kind of overlaid Andrew Dice Clay on it, you know, which I just find weird. But yeah, we could have done this on the comics, Chris, because apparently DC Comics produced a prequel of The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. So didn't know that. I can't imagine that sold too many either, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. I'm with you, though. I think this is terrible. But there's something watchable about it as well. I cannot for the life of me. And I didn't watch this in 2 sittings. I just watched it and was like, holy fuck. You know, it's truly atrocious, but it's just a watchable, stupid movie. Yeah. You know, I listened to, so Mike Burton did with a bunch of other people like Spider Dan and Bria and stuff. And I think, who else did it? I think Tonya might have done it. Like they did a whole episode on Disney sequels, you know, so animated sequels. And one of them was like Aladdin 2. And generally, the theme was all Disney sequels are shit cash grabs, I think. But Mike was going on about how much he hated Gilbert Gottfried. But I have to say, he had one of the lines of the movie for me. So when he's going to his mate, so Gilbert Gottfried, he's the DJ, you know, the one with the sort of annoying voice, but he was the parrot in Aladdin, and he's been in a bunch of stuff. I want to say he was in Police Academy, but he wasn't. That was someone else. But it's where he's like, he's been to see him, the DJ, and he's putting the pieces together for the case. And then he can hear him over the phone. He's saying, "Oh, I'm being electrocuted." And I don't know why. It just really tickled me. Because if you were, that you wouldn't actually call out and describe what's happening. It's just coupled up with his voice and the fact that he's describing being tortured. I don't know why. It just really tickled me.
But the thing is as well, Dave, like, I you know, we talk about these movies, so it's very rare. Fucking rare as hen's teeth, I suppose, that you get an older woman who can attract all these guys. But it's that Hollywood special of the guy's age doesn't matter. He's copping off with 20-something girls, and this whole movie is scattered with girls just ready to drop the knickers on Fairlane, aren't they? And it's a proper horrible fucker. Like you say, that the cigarette smoking. There's that little weird kid who gives him shit, and he's like, I want to fucking join you and become a detective. And he's a right little shit. And he's like, get back to school, pal. And this kid's just like a proper annoying little character, isn't he? So, yeah, he's just silly. He's a silly, silly movie. And I think as it goes through, like the whole thing with Wayne Newton's character, Julian Grendel, like, doesn't make any sense. I mean, he's not bad, Robert Englund. You know, it's like the baddie. He's a maniacal baddie. He's pretty much Freddy Krueger, but without the claws, if I'm being honest, Dave. He doesn't change.
You know who else? You know who that was supposed to be?
No?
Supposed to be Billy Idol.
Oh, was it?
So he was cast and everything, but he was in a car crash, so he couldn't actually be part of the movie. So they were just right, Robert Englund. I mean, I don't know why he had to maintain the kind of Cockney accent sort of thing, but if you look at it now, that's essentially who he was.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that because I know Gilbert Gottfried, he was in Beverly Hills Cop, a very minor part, and he's just recently passed away. But that was supposed to be, what's he called, the shock jock? What's his bloody name?
Yes, I know who you mean. There's the
his bloody name. I've just read it before we come on as well. I love his show actually because
Howard Stern.
Howard Stern, he has great music. The acoustics of it and the sound of the music they have bands on are amazing. So yeah, that was an interesting one. Like he would have been in that, but I think he'd done a few films around this time. I remember watching one. Is it Johnny Farty Pants, Dave? I'm sure that was Howard Stern. Have you ever seen that one? Oh, something, it's fucking terrible. Don't
Sounds
watch
very
it.
highbrow.
No, it's absolutely terrible. I'm going to have to find it. It's fucking rubbish. But now that is a bad film. But yeah, I think, like you say, the story is a late 80s and early 90s by numbers sort of thing. You've got the whole Hollywood thing. Like you say, he's got an amazing beachfront property, which gets blown up as well. And the context and continuity, though, where they look at the microwave and that girl's there and she's like, we've got like 15 seconds and she's trying to grab stuff. And then by the time they've run
half
out...
an hour later.
Half an hour later, it's like 6, 5. And you're like, no, you'd have been dead as soon as she went back to pick a bag up or whatever she did. So there's a couple of silly things. But like you say, they blow that house up, Dave, 20 million. They do actually blow it out. And Andrew Dice Clay is there with her. And they jump behind like that boat, don't they? Little kayak thing. So I think there is a few redeeming things that I can forgive it on. But like I say, please don't ever go into this thinking we're getting an Academy Award made movie because it's just simply not. It's fucking I won't even call it a C movie. It's absolutely awful. But he's just got a charm about it I cannot explain.
Yeah, and I think I was expecting, right, okay, so I'd read a bit of the background in Andrew Dice Clay, read that he was pretty offensive, says all these homophobic, fucking racist type jokes, and I thought there's going to be some things where you're going to go, oh, that doesn't age well, but there was a bit of that, but there was just nothing that I thought, oh, right, if I'd have saw that at the time, I'd have thought that was funny. And then later thought, it's wrong. But no, it was just shit. Just most of the jokes were shit. And again, you had, I tell you what was funny, but one of the first people he catches is Sam the sleazebag. Yes. And again, this fucking rapey individual turns out to become a little bit of a hero at the end. And it's like, this guy should be locked up. It's just ridiculous. But that is a little bit of a thing at the time, I think. But that Zuzu Petals, I thought I had to look it up because she was about 20 when this was made, but she's played off again like she's younger than she actually is. She seems to be played off like she's 16 or something.
You know what? It's funny, isn't it? Because that is an old Hollywood trick, isn't it, Dave? You get characters and you're like we've been watching the Derry Girls. Have you ever seen the Derry Girls, Dave?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
It's so good.
Have you seen the ages of them?
They're all older, yeah.
Oh yeah, the little blonde one who's dead loud, the one who she comes out, doesn't she, as gay? She's 35. Is she supposed to be? Yes, she's the oldest of the lot. She looks the youngest. She's the oldest. The black-haired one with the frizzy hair, who's dead gobby. She's 30. Erin's 29. They're all like, I think the young lad's about 24, 25. I think he might be the youngest, but they're all a lot older, Dave. They're all like, she's 35, and I'm like, wow, she does not look 35. So that's a classic Hollywood or TV thing, isn't it?
Yeah. But like I say, she's supposed to be this groupie. That's why he's tracking her down in the first place. And like I say, I guess it's just one of those things at the time. I think she is supposed to be about 16 or something like that. Just the way that she talks and everything. It just again, it's just fucking wrong. But I don't know. You say about 80s, 90s. I mean, the way it's shot certainly is. But for me, it is trying to be one of those, detective noir movies, but with a comedy slant on it. And, where he's following the breadcrumbs, so he's tracking down what actually happens. And one of the weird bits that kind of almost seems out of place, but then I guess he is a rock and roll detective, is when they go into the studio and you've got this kid there who's trying to sing and is clearly crap. And then old Ford Fairlane starts belting out a tune there. And actually, it was quite catchy.
Well, Dave, you've ruined my fury there. You've ruined it. You've stolen it, obviously. Because I was going to say he's fucking rubbish. I thought he wasn't that good, to be honest, the singing. You can clearly see it's him. It's his voice. But, obviously the whole thing is like, he could have been a rock star. He could have been, he chose to be a detective, and all that shit. But when he started singing, I was like, not that good, really, Dave. I don't know. I'm not the greatest singer in the world. I know we did it for a long time. I don't profess to be. I'm sure it probably sound like me getting up there singing now, Dave. But it just was a bit off. And I was like, oh, that sounds a bit out of key. So I don't know whether that's just me, Dave. But you were expecting him to be like the second coming of Elvis or something, and it just didn't hit that bit. But the song was quite catchy. I'll give you that, definitely.
I was thinking more about the song than the vocal performance, to be honest. It was just, again, just a little bit out of place. But like I say, because he's a rock and roll detective, I guess it is. It's just how it made me feel, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, I didn't get the impression that he was going to be the second coming of Elvis. It was just that he's a mad fan. It's not like he's, the talent. That's not how I saw it.
That's interesting. And I think I will say, David, I think you had said it earlier on, and you're right. Like, there was just something about Priscilla Presley around this time. I would have been the same age as Paul and Tim watching this as you were, Dave. And I would have been all over this, mate. I would have been fucking cramping my fucking shoulder up watching her, because I thought she was fit in Naked Gun. I really did fucking like her in Naked Gun. The fact that Frank Drebin, Leslie Nielsen's about fucking 16. He cops up. What's she, like late 30s, 40 at this time? Yeah, he always didn't hit with me. But yeah, Dave, she's fit, really fit.
I'm going to spoil, but, I'm sure we'll cover Naked Gun at some point. But my favourite line out of that movie is when she climbs up the stairs and he's like, nice beaver. And she passes down a stuffed beaver. Thanks, I just had it stuffed. Just so dumb, but I love it. But yeah, Chris, as things, unfold, and again, you've got this weird Robert Englund side thing going on, but essentially he's trying to put together the pieces of the case. Turns out that it is, what's his face? Julian Grendel, so played by Wayne Newton. Apparently, the record studios don't make enough money and are sick of the artists making all the money. And so he's got into bootlegging CDs. And I thought, well, that's a fucking weird parallel universe that we don't live in, isn't it? I appreciated the putting together the pieces, but I thought, what a nonsense fucking thing. This is as bad as Fast and Furious, to fucking ship across DVD players. I just thought it was bizarre, because it's like, well, no one believes that. No one, that's not even close to reality.
No, well, Dave, not just that. One of them's hidden on the fucking Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
And there's the CD and Art Mooney's name. I was like, is that? I had to rewound it. I was like, what the hell's going on here? So yeah, that was another weird fucking data point in the movie. But
that was a great Scooby-Doo moment, wasn't it? Like, oh, look, you got fucking thousands of people walking along here. No one's just accidentally stood on it and ejected the CD.
Yeah, Ford's just come and press the button in the middle and it opens. Yeah, that was just bizarre, Dave. But I mean, Grendel gets set on fire, doesn't he? He's been after Fairlane. Fairlane's had a couple of little kick-ins, I suppose, by the henchmen a few times, but he can still fight and give his own and everything. And that little kid gets a bit of a kicking, doesn't he? The one who's dead gobby. He gets a bit of a roughing up as well. But I do like the fact that It reminds me a bit of Beverly Hills Cop 2, actually, because when they go to the party, and obviously in Beverly Hills Cop 2, he goes to the Playboy Mansion. I don't think we've covered that on here. Have we the second one, Dave? Or have we? We
did the second 48 hours. We did another 48 hours, didn't we?
Yes, yeah, we did. Yeah, sorry, yeah. And then that was a mistake, Dave, because that did not age well. It's another wasted pick for me. But yeah, I think that like his secretary, she's absolutely gorgeous, and he's so misogynistic toward her, and he's so like just really sexist and everything. And then he just like snogs her to shut her up. Like, yeah, babe, see you later and all that. So you've got all this going on. Like you say, the end of it's okay. It's it's almost like the 18 levels in it, the way it all knits together and finishes off. But I just find it ridiculous that this was just a vehicle for him, and a vehicle that was 20 million, like you said, was invested in his movie. And I couldn't for the life of me tell you where 20 million went, Dave. I couldn't. We've watched better movies on a quarter of this budget that have been made better, and it's really badly made.
It's bizarre, isn't it? I can only imagine there was a lot of cocaine on this set.
Yeah.
That must be where the 20 million went. But no, I mean, like you say, he gets the girl, doesn't he? The kid is obviously, his dad had been killed. He'd been taken out in a hit. And so, Ford Fairlane decides, he'll kind of take him under his wing kind of thing. The koala, I thought that was a bit of a sinister moment, actually, when the koala got hung. But then you find out at the end he's actually all right. So
yeah.
I was actually quite happy about that, Chris. I would love to say I was watching this just going, oh, shit, I don't care about this. But yeah, I was happy when the koala didn't die.
Even though it was a fucking Fraggle Rock animation.
Exactly. Yeah, it's really bad.
Dave, have you got anything else to say about this movie before we get to review?
I don't think so. Let's get into the final review.
Let's go. So massive thank you, Tim. Great choice, mate. Really unbelievable movie. Unbelievable. But, and obviously this whole episode is dedicated to the memory of Paul as well. So really, really good choice for you and the memory of it all. And just what a strange movie, Dave. A classic which stitches us up movie, which it did. And I was sat there open mouth going, I cannot believe this has been made. But there is a charm to it that I didn't think, and it's not the bias because of Tim's backstory at all, but there was genuine charm to it that I didn't think I'd like. It was terrible. We were texting going, oh my God, this is shit. But I just sort of enjoyed it, and I probably won't be adverse to watch it again, Dave. I don't know why. I don't know what's up with me, but we've watched far worse movies, and I've just binned them off and gone, I'm not even watching this again. I probably would watch this again, and I just cannot put my finger on why. So I'm going to send it, Dave, to Hill Valley, right in the middle.
Oof.
I don't know why. I cannot explain it, but I probably would. It's just stupidly shit, but I did enjoy it in some aspect. So what about yourself?
Well, yeah, I'm a bit like you. There is some unknown quantity that I just can't put my finger on that makes this kind of watchable. If you were hungover on the sofa on a Sunday afternoon and this came on and you were like, I can't muster the energy to get the remote control. So I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I'll watch it. And it's just that kind of brain dead state that you need to be in to watch this and enjoy it. But yeah, like I said, there is just something watchable about it. There are some little interesting moments. And again, I do give it credit. This must have had some kind of influence over Ace Ventura, which went on to be a lot more successful and popular, certainly in the UK. But it must have influenced that. So yeah, I'm not going to put it quite as high as you. I'm going to send it to Elm Street. Definitely not the worst movie I've ever seen, and I'm glad I've watched it. But I wouldn't be in a rush to watch. But like I say, if you had those set conditions that I mentioned before, then I'd be on the sofa hungover watching it.
I don't blame you, Dave, because if you said you were watching it, I'd probably go, well, I'm going to watch it as well. Let's fucking go through this hell together. No, good choice, mate. Good stuff. But again, massive thank you to everyone who supports us, guys. Get over to patreon.com/thevhsstrikesback. If you want to email us, thevhsstrikesback@gmail.com. And if you want to follow us on social media @thevhsstrikesback. So again, thank you, Tim, for picking that, mate. Great movie. Just ridiculous. We've got a couple of new patrons as well. So welcome to Justin and Susan. Susan follows on the CD Reality Cast podcast as well. And he's one of our patrons over there. So welcome to both of you. And we'll get you to pick a movie as well. So keep them inboxes open on Patreon, guys. So we'll drop a message to you. So the roll call of honour for today is Mr. Tony Farina, John Hammond, Blake, Maths, Jax, Herb, Lucky Little Green, Kent Gustafson, Dylan Heath, Matt, Paul, Alec, Tim, Glyn, Susan, and Justin. So thank you so much to everyone who supports us, past and present. We really appreciate it. Really good stuff. But Dave, it's my pick next week, my friend. And
it is.
Obviously, my last pick was Lauren Avedon, the great Lauren and Cynthia Rothrock. So we're not going down that route. I've picked a movie where I actually had a 6-foot video advertising stand, and it had both of the main actors on it. And it was a movie that it's not well known, and it stars Clint Eastwood. Not a lot of people probably have watched this, but I loved it because it had Charlie Sheen in it, and it's a sort of Lethal Weapon buddy act thing. He's not playing Harry Callahan at all. He's playing a completely different character, but he takes Charlie Sheen under his wing. Under Duress, Dave, typical sort of romp movie. And it's from, I think it's around about 87, 88. But this one is The Rookie.
A little early for Christmas shopping, ain't it? Who's up front in the cab?
Santa Claus.
And I'm the Tooth Fairy.
Clint Eastwood is Sergeant Nick Polovsky, what you might call a seasoned cop. Charlie Sheen is Detective David Ackerman, what you definitely call a rookie.
Good work, kid. Now read them their rights.
You think I like dragging around after you all day? I hate it. And I hate the way you drive.
Shut up. Shoot her. Shoot her now. There's got to be 100 reasons why I don't blow you away. Right now, I can't think of one.
It's time for me to stop being scared. For other people to start.
Perfect, Dave. Bar fight.
Yeah. It's a staple, isn't it?
When I go with a bang.
Raul Julia, Dave, as well.
Yeah. He's always there, the baddie, isn't
Yeah. Clint Eastwood, Charlie Sheen, Raul Julia, Sonia Braga. The Rookie.
Not too far from your thoughts, am I? From my nightmares is more like it.
Now, Dave, I may have had a thing for Sonia Braga, and when you watch the movie, you'll understand, my friend. But it was cheese on toast, that, wasn't it?
That name rings a bell, and I'm trying to think where from. She been in something else that we've done?
Yeah, in my dreams, Dave.
Yeah. I think no. Well, Chris, I mean, is this in the Dirty Harry universe? Because basically Clint Eastwood just seems to be playing Dirty Harry there.
No, but he is basically Dirty Harry. Not Lansky, Dave, but he is Dirty Harry, basically. That's the whole ridiculousness of it all. But yeah, I just remember it being this movie. It was always in the video shop, and I've watched it so many times. But again, I've not watched it for about 25 years, Dave, but I absolutely loved it as a kid.
I think I have seen this because that bit where Eastwood says, "Great kid, now read them their rights to the dogs."
Yes.
That is very, very familiar. Now, I think I probably have seen the movie, but then I'm thinking, well, if it's in the trailer, maybe I just saw the trailer lots. I am not sure, Chris, but let's see. I'm looking forward to this one. Not your usual Avedon pick. So I do appreciate that at least. 1 plus point for that. And all I've got to say, really, is how are you going to finish us off today?
Bastard, I was looking, going, oh no, he's going to do it to me today. Well, Dave, all I'm going to say, as Mr. Fairlane does say continually throughout the movie, and it's his best bit of dialogue, hey, we'll see you next time.
Bye now.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
I'll be back. That's not.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Wax on, wax off. Get to the chopper! One ring to go. All right. Ding, ding. Bust you up. Go for it.
Well, here we go. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Come on. Ain't so bad. Ain't nothing. Come on. You must be crazy or something. I'm crazy. You just a stupid. Yeah, maybe you crazy. I ain't breathing heavy. He's a fool. He's stupid. I seen you in 6 months. I must break